We'll start with a look back at the Pro Tour action that has already happened this week, starting off with Players Championship 3 on Monday, and it was third time's a charm for Ryan Searle, a runner-up in Players Championship 1 and Players Championship 2. He wins Players Championship 3. How important could this win be for the rest of his season ahead?
Honestly, I don't think it's all that important overall, because where his game is right now didn't need a title, but it certainly deserved one. Actually, you could make an argument it deserved more than one, because he made the final of the first 3 Players Championship events, and the only reason he didn't make the final of the first 4 is his 109 average against Brendan Dolan wasn't enough in a match that only one leg went more than 14 darts. Just an absolutely brutal match, both of them playing phenomenal darts, and that's what it took to deny Ryan Searle before a final. And it wasn't like he played poorly in the finals either. Okay, his loss to Gary Anderson wasn't his best performance, but he got off to a slow start of that match and was coming back in the second half, but Anderson was just unplayable. But against Luke Littler, he averaged nearly 112 in a match where they went the full 15 legs in about 20 minutes. You have to play phenomenally to beat Ryan Searle, and the fact if he did not win that title, the fact that he would not have won a title from the first 4 would seem a bit cruel, because he has been so far this year one of the best players and certainly the most consistent player. Look across 25 matches in the Players Championship so far this year. In 23 of them, he averaged at least 90. We've talked about consistency, and maybe I undersold how he did improve his consistency last year. He rarely averaged under 90 last year. He averaged over 90 about 85% of the time, which is a very, very good clip. There'll be, shorter matches, there's going to be the odd poor performance. Well, right now, he's averaging over 90 in 92% of matches, and the only 2 matches where he didn't, it wasn't that he was averaging 83. He averaged 88 and change in one, and he averaged 89 and change in the other. He barely missed the 90 average. He's been consistent. He has been dominant, and when he's flying, although often he's flying and losing. But to beat Gary Anderson, I think it's a deserved title. It was a great performance. It was a great match. But it gets back to the question. How important can it be for a season? I just don't think it is. The way he's playing right now, it looks like he's going to win 3, 4, 5. It looks like he's going to be live to win his first televised title, at least to make it through to a second final. And that's what his season's about. These events are putting him in that competition. And, making sure that he's in at least in that conversation to get a Grand Slam spot if he doesn't make a televised final or win a Euro Tour. Winning the Players' Championships are big in that regard. But beyond that, I don't think that's important. What's important is how he does in the UK Open. What's important is how he does on the Euro Tours. That's what needs to be his goal this season, to have that major breakthrough, to have a dominant year on the big stage, because he is one of the best players in the world. He just hasn't shown it yet when it matters the most. So it's not important, but it shows where his game is, and he is going to be a player to be reckoned with in season 2024.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. And looking back to last week's show, first of all, one of our listener questions in the mailbag from George Dobson was about Ryan Searle, and it was after he got to those 2 finals last week, and he was asking us what we thought of Ryan's Barnet, but also how many TV titles we think he's going to win. And I said in my answer last week that I wanted to see how Ryan Searle gets on taking this form on the floor onto the stage this year. And that's not just the TV events, but also the Euro Tours as well, because 2024 is going to be another year where we are going to see plenty of heavy metal on that big stage in the TV events, the Euro Tours. Obviously, the changes to the Euro Tours this year, how people qualify. I don't think Ryan Searle was one of the players that has been affected, has he? He's high up on that Pro Tour Order of Merit. He's high up on the Order of Merit as well, on the verge of that top 16 at the moment. He's going to be seeded for the first 4 Euro Tours this season and 2 finals and a title on the floor this week. And last week, it's pushed him a little bit higher up on that Pro Tour Order of Merit. And for me, it does feel like this could be a year of growth for Ryan Searle. He's been in and around that top 16 for the last 2 or 3 years now. We've seen his potential. That run to the final in Minehead at the Players' Championship finals, what was he, 24 points away in that decider from beating Peter Wright and winning the title. And I think after that final, a lot of people were probably expecting Ryan Searle, and him himself as well, expecting him to have more deep runs on the big stage. And after that, we've seen he's had one quarter-final at the World Match Play last year. It doesn't represent a great return for him. And, okay, you look at the runs that he's had on TV, the games that he's had, there are some instances there where he has played very well and he's just not got that rub of the green, or luck's gone against him. There's been times where you average 103 over 19 legs and lose. That doesn't happen very often, but that's happened to Ryan Searle. He's also come up against Luke Humphries a couple of times at the back end of last year, the Grand Slam, the Players' Championship finals, 2 events that Luke won on that unstoppable run that he was on at the end of last year. And he lost both of those games 10-7, so he was very much in both of those games until the end. But he is back in the winner's circle. Yes, it is a floor event, and there's going to be bigger events that he's got his eye on this year, events that he's not won before. He's not won a Euro Tour. That's surely something that he's going to want to tick off his list. But I just look at the games that he won, and it was a very tough run that he had from the last 16 onwards, when you're playing Damon Heta, Danny Noppert, Michael van Gerwen, and then Gary Anderson, and we all know the form that Gary's in at the moment. That is quite a run of games to win to get your first title. So, yeah, for Ryan Searle, 3 finals in a row is some achievement. If he had gone 0 for 3 in those finals, there might have been a little niggling doubt in the back of his head when he got to the next final. Can he get the job done? But he's crossed the finishing line. He's beaten a player in Gary Anderson who was averaging 108, close to 110 before that deciding leg. So that's an impressive win, isn't it? And he's got the title. I think he can push on from here, like you said as well. And like last week, I said, let's see if he can bring those big averages, big performances more frequently to the stage, because if he can, this really could be a landmark year for heavy metal.